Hello, my friends. It's I, Blubobobobo. Welcome. A long time ago, longer now than it seems, Bear had a very long tail. In fact, his tail was easily as long as my staff. Now, Bear loved his tail. It was soft and it was shiny, and he would lay it out on the path and make all the other animals who passed by compliment him on his beautiful tail before he let them go. Now, the other animals didn't like that very much, of course, but there wasn't much they could do about it. He's Bear. He's the biggest and strongest in all the forest. Now, as winter came on, Bear started to get very hungry. It's time for him to eat. But all he can find are a few nuts, berries, the occasional grub. You know, those little white squishy worms. Yeah, not even bears like to eat those. No, what he really wanted was a fish. He hadn't had a fish since summer. Now he's going down the path, he comes across Fox. Fox has a very large pile of fish. "Where'd you get those fish?" "I got them from the pond, Bear, of course." "Pond? The pond is frozen. How could you possibly?" She quickly ate her last little fish and said, "Come with me, Bear, and I'll show you." They went down to the pond and walked on the ice, and there was a small hole that Fox had dug, and she had been dipping her tail in order to catch fish. "You caught all those fish with your little tail?" Bear asked. "Aye, Bear." "Then I will catch lots of fish with my long, beautiful tail." "Perhaps, Bear." They went down a little further, and Bear began to dig in the ice, and as he's throwing ice and snow everywhere, Fox reminded him, "Just put the end of your tail within the water, Bear, no more." That's what she had done, and that's why to this day, the end of Fox's tail is white, because it had frozen. But Bear was stubborn. He said, "I want all the fish." And with that, he put his entire tail within the water. Fox shrugged, can't argue with a bear, and she went back to her den. Now that night, it turned bitterly cold, and the next morning, 2 feet of snow had fallen across the entire valley floor. Fox went down to check on Bear, assuming he'd given up a long time ago, but when she got there, all she found was a very large pile of bear-shaped snow. Bear had fallen asleep. So she crept down to the pond, right up next to Bear's face, right by his ear, and she yelled, "Bear!" And Bear jumped. And when Bear jumped, he said, "I've got a fish!" And he yanked his tail out of the water. And when he yanked his tail, he heard a sickening crack. And all that came out was a tiny little nub of a tail. Bear's entire tail had frozen solid, and when he yanked on it, it broke clean off. Fox laughed. She thought it was funny. Bear deserved it for his arrogance. Bear was sad. He loved his tail. Now it's gone. But as he sat there pondering, which is a hard thing for a bear to do, he thought to himself, "Tail, no tail. I'm still Bear. It doesn't matter what's on the outside, as long as what's on the inside is still Bear. I'm still Bear, and that's all that matters." And that, my friend, is how Bear lost his tail. Thank you for listening, my friends. I hope you have a wonderful day.